This is an article in the New York Times. It says that the SEC filed suit to recoup losses in the Stanford case. Now, for those not familiar with the Allen Stanford fraud case, he's basically awaiting trial on 14 criminal counts related to the investment business. He basically had an enormous Ponzi scheme, and he used the proceeds from 21,500 customers to finance a lavish lifestyle. Did he ever? And he managed more than $7 billion of customer assets. So it's a pretty big fraud. So what's going on here is SIPC is kind of like the FDIC of the investment world. It's supposed to protect you if your custodial bank becomes insolvent. A lot of people rely on FDIC. They hear the word insurance and they feel great about having their money in a certain investment or having their money on deposit. It makes them feel secure, makes them feel that whatever happens, that they're going to be protected. And this is one of the big reasons that customers choose to have their money on deposit or to have certain CDs. It's because of that FDIC protection. Now, what's going on here is that SIPC, which is meant to protect investors, it's called the Investment Protection Corporation, is basically saying, no, we're not paying. We're not going to pay. This is basically a nightmare if you're one of the investors in the Stanford case and you're out all of your money and you said, all right, well, at least these securities that I bought were insured by SIPC, you know, at least I can rest easy. Well, it's not that simple, unfortunately. It says, SIPC has said that because the investments were certificates of deposit that were sold by a bank, they were not eligible for its coverage, which is restricted to accounts at brokerage firms. Okay, so these certificates of deposit, which were claimed to be insured by SIPC, they were sold by a bank and they were not eligible for coverage. So this only covers accounts at brokerage firms. It's a technicality, but it's something that investors may potentially very much regret. And then this case is still ongoing, so we have yet to see how this is actually going to play out. What a nightmare. You've got the corporation that's designed to protect investors saying we're not going to pay, and the SEC has to step in and sue them. You know, this just makes me wonder if something happens to people's deposits. Is the FDIC going to say that we're not responsible? This just goes to show you how, first of all, politicized this is getting, and a lot of these entities that were meant to protect investors are feeling strained, quite simply because of all the events that have happened. It's hard to actually keep up with the payments that you have to make to reimburse investors for their losses. So in this situation, this technicality might really be painful for the people that invested in these securities, because so far they have not seen a penny being returned to them. So just imagine you have your life savings in this hedge fund, all of a sudden it disappears, and even though it's supposed to be covered up to a certain amount, SIPC just tells you, well, tough luck, sorry about that. It goes to show you that whenever you put your money into illiquid securities that are not as transparent as they could be, hedge funds fit that description quite well, you run the risk of simply waking up one day and having your money gone. Now, can this happen in a publicly traded security? Potentially, but I would say it's less likely. The public disclosures that a hedge fund has to make are quite minimal, and this is one of the results that can happen here. But it's just amazing to me that the entities that were put in place to provide protection are now fighting amongst each other to figure out whether investors are actually covered. So it doesn't really even matter that they were told that there's SIPC coverage. There's no one really takes a look at it until it's too late, like in this situation. So that was the update to the Stanford case.